Collective. I'm talking to a powerhouse. Somebody who's literally stepping into their power so quickly it feels like it's on the hour every hour. Let me explain. A couple of days ago, I was called to the numbers 1133. Okay, no big deal. 1133. All right, cool. And then an hour later, I was called to look at the clock again. 1144. Okay, something going on here, but we'll see. An hour later, 11:55. I went, okay, duly noted. I need to write this down. I need to look at it because you'll notice 3, 4, 5, right? 11:33, 11:44, 11:55. So you are rapidly now, not by the hour. It might feel like it because it is at a rapid pace. You're stepping into your power, becoming a major powerhouse. What is this all about? I don't know. So we're gonna dig in. I got chills. Okay. So when I looked into 1133, so this is positive energy, good omens, and this is really interesting. Lashings of luck. And I'm like, lashings? You know, when you hear lashings, you don't normally hear lashings in the form of abundance, right? Because it's abundance of luck, a lashings of luck. But when you look it up, sure, it means abundance, but mostly, you know, lashings, we think of like whippings, right? Things that, you know, words can lash out, right? And the way it lashes out can hurt people. I feel like this is two-toned. So I feel like while you're receiving lashings of luck, I also feel that the lashing, because you're receiving the lashings of luck, I feel like it's giving somebody around you lashings in like a negative way, right? Where it's bothering them. And I'll get to that point in just a minute. 1144. So this is powerful affirmation of new beginnings. It's a fresh start. But you also have to remember to keep your thoughts positive. So I want to look into that. So there's something that keeps you from thinking positive thoughts consistently, right? So I'm going to pull from this oracle deck to maybe, I'm called to this one to kind of see what's holding you back. But then we have 1155. This is significant change and growth, right? Like I said, you were rapidly, hour by hour, on the hour, leveling up in steps because it's 3, 4, and 5. You're getting up to the level of 5, which is major change. You're stepping into your personal power personally, right? So powerhouse, that's why I kept hearing powerhouse, right? It's not even you depending on anybody else for growth. It is you and your own personal powerhouse. I want to go to this deck. If I can, what is the name of this deck? I should probably tell you that. Do I even have that out over here? Oh, shoot. Okay, well, I don't have the casing for it, so I can't remember the name of it. It is Akashic. So, it's the healing Akashic. So this is just Akashic records, right? So this is like your subconscious mind. This is the healing Akashic record. So why I'm called to this is because I feel, because you're stepping into your own personal power, becoming that big powerhouse, is because I feel you are here to guide and heal people, okay? And this is a big deck, so I want to kind of see what maybe your powerhouse, personal power is specifically for you. Now, back to the lashings real quick. So while I feel you're getting those good lashings, because you're getting those good lashings, it's irritating somebody around you. Because yesterday I felt somebody's mood like you wouldn't believe. It was like, because since I've been on my healing journey, for the most part, I'm pretty happy-go-lucky. I've got a routine. I kind of, you got to know what triggers you. And so I just felt this agitation, this friction. I feel like you're chafing somebody because you are stepping into your power, and maybe it's because they don't feel strong enough to step into their own power. But yet we all have free will. We all can make that change to level up to 5, that big significant change. You're doing it, but it's chafing, I think, somebody around you. Okay? Little heartburn, right? That's not your issue though, right? That's their issue. So I want to find out what's possibly causing you to have, thoughts that might throw you back into not feeling so positive and keeping you from constantly leveling up, right? Because that's what we do when we're on this, spiritual journey, healing journey. We are constantly climbing the stairs, okay? We're climbing that mountain. And when we get to the top of that mountain, we never stop growing, but we are at a level to where people look up. They look up to you. They're curious, your light shining, you're being seen, and people are very drawn to that. And so maybe that's part of the chafing for somebody, is the fact that you are being seen more. Random strangers want to talk to you. They want to tell you their story, their love life. They just feel comfortable with you. And that could be irritating someone or someone's, plural. All right, so let's get a little more, Spirit, please. What is this energy for the collective where they don't feel so positive all the time? And that happens, right? We can climb that mountain. We can do everything right. We can wake up and say we're gonna have a good, positive day. But sometimes things happen. It's gonna set us back. It's part of being human, and it's part of being in the matrix. It's part of why we're here. Okay? What do we have? Help me get choice. This is the choice card. So you're being asked to make a choice that you've been struggling with. So it's time to decide which path you're going to take. Listen to your intuition. I'm talking to somebody who's got some strong intuition. eliminate everyone else's input. Feel your way into the choice that's right for you. Now is the time. The moon is in Libra right now as well. And Libra energy can get stuck in, the scales, right? Libra is the scales of balance, right? You might be weighing out your options, your decision. You may have others' input, which is where the chafing's coming from. So you feeling that chafing feeling from others around you about you making a personal choice of stepping into your own power. Like I said, that might be pulling on you with the Libra moon, where you're like, people are making me feel uncomfortable because I am elevating, I am growing, I am climbing that mountain, I am being seen. You don't have to allow people to keep you held down. If others around you don't want to elevate, if they don't want to grow, if they don't want to climb that ladder, if they don't want to learn, they don't have to. But they certainly cannot keep you held back from that choice you want to make. So I feel the friction of that weird energy was because you are right there at that final stage of stepping into your own personal power and not being held back to maybe a group, a group of people. Could be one person. What is this personal power energy for the collective? What is this personal power energy? The sacred flame journey. Yeah. So this is very much the twin flame journey. Okay. So I'm talking to a twin. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic. Yes, it can be. But when you have a twin flame, you're here to reflect out to each other. What are your fears? What are some of your faults? And it's supposed to force you to look in the mirror and get uncomfortable and work through those. And I'm talking to a collective where you're actively working through those, because it's like, it's a rapid pace. You're not doing it hour by hour, but that's how rapid it feels for you and how it feels for your twin flame, whoever that may be. They feel your energy pulling away, climbing that mountain, being seen. And it's making them uncomfortable because they truthfully like to be seen. They like people to look up to them. They like people to come after them and chase them, right? They like that energy. And they particularly like it from you, but you're not doing that. Right now, you feel that you know what this journey is about. You're getting enlightenment on what this journey is, and you're stepping into it. And you're climbing step by step, step by step. Yeah. I don't know why I got thrown off track. Maybe that song means something to you. I don't know. But they feel you pulling away and they're like, no, 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 no. I don't want you up there where everybody can see you. Everybody's attracted to your light. You know, they want to be in your life, and I want to be in that. I want to be in that situation, but they don't want to grow. They just want people to chase them. You get what I'm saying? It's not about people just chasing you, right? Because that's part of the twin flame dynamic, is the runner chaser. So they like people to come after them while they keep running, you know, because it's like it's no work for them. But you're sitting still, you're sitting with it, you're learning this journey, and you're like, I'm going to sit with it. All right, I'm going to face my fears. You might be the type that's afraid to be out in the public. You might be the type that's afraid to talk about this journey and your fears. And now you're rapidly changing to where you could be out in the public eye talking openly about this. And it's making your twin uncomfortable. They don't want it because they're like, wait a minute, your attention was on me. Now your attention's not on me, which is what made me feel good. And now you're putting your attention onto yourself. You're embracing that journey. You're starting to make that choice of choosing yourself. But they put doubt in your head because it is your twin. And they still want to hold you back a little bit. Okay? So I guess it's a good thing I left the yin yang oracle, which is the masculine feminine energy of this dynamic. Yeah, bottom of the deck, ace of water, healing. So this can be renewal of love. It can be, opening up, being more compassionate, working through your emotions. And it could also be, new love or the renewal of a love, a new offer. But for the most part, I'm seeing that at the bottom as healing. You could have water in your chart. Okay, let's get some more on this. Ooh. We got the fate. This is the wheel of fortune. This is Jupiter. Jupiter energy. This is, the boundaries. So, I'm sorry, excuse me. Jupiter is the growth. Remember, I kept saying it was the leveling up of growth. So, yeah, the wheel of fortune is related to Jupiter. So you're expanding. That's the good fortune. Working through karma and the cycles. And it's much like divine intervention. So while it can be about positive cycles, which is what I said for you, which was interesting. Yeah, the positive energy, the good omens, right? The lashings of luck. Well, it's funny because in this card, you're going to see lightning up there. Let's see if I can get a little closer so you can get a good look at that. See the lightning strike? So it's like the lashings of the good luck for you, but it's also, at the same time, it's lashing your twin. Yeah, because the lightning strike right there on the tree, half of it's light, half of it's dark. And on the light side, you've got the eagle. So the eagle represents being, the one of the symbols of being close to the divine, which is a big part of this journey. See, the journey reflects both your light and shadows to each other. And since you've been facing your shadow and leveling up, now, are you 100% healed? No. Are any of us ever? No. But we do become healed enough to where, people are curious and drawn to our light because, we're taking better care of ourselves. We're not chasing our twin flame down. It's, you can stick around and help them as much as you can, but at the end of the day, you still have to make the choice to carry on. And if they choose not to take those levels like you are, then that's when the staircase becomes a big wide gap. They're still down at the bottom and you're still climbing. Oh, I just saw another orb. I'm telling you, man, Spirit's like, I am all over this right now. That's the second time. I just did another reading where it was a huge orb that came through. And that was just it was just posted a couple days ago. Spirit's like, man, this is the year where they need to level up. You're doing the level up, but you still have that, here's the winner card. This is, transition from light to darkness. This is a timing card. Major changes, rebirth. So what's happening is your twins still pulling you back into your shadow of holding back and chasing them. And we are currently in the winter in the northern hemisphere. We're in winter now. So but you're going through the major change of stepping into the light. You're going through a rebirth. They might be as well. Yeah, see, there's the fears. This is the fears. They're stuck very much in a comfort zone. And because of them limiting themselves from growing, you're feeling that energy. So it creates you to overthink. It creates you to doubt yourself, right? And that's where sometimes you don't have the positive thoughts, right? Because it's the choice of, do I continue on my path, getting further separated from my twin because they're not ready to level up? You got to keep going. You have free will, but I say keep going because you're already at a rapid pace. Like, you got good things coming in. And just because they're afraid, they're still mirroring that back to you. They're still, because their fears, you're feeling their fears. And so you have to let go of feeling their fears. That is for them to deal with, not you. Your lashings are good because you're doing the work. They're feeling the tower moment lashings because they're not. There's the freedom. Uranus is going to be moving, or so Gemini is going to be moving back into Uranus. So it moved into Uranus, so Taurus. So it went back into Taurus, which is very stubborn, very grounded, not moving, slow moving. And what's going to happen is it's the Fool. This is considered the Fool card. Absolutely. In April, I believe it is going to station into Uranus, Gemini. And that's when things are going to take off. So right now you're still kind of feeling this because you're in winter. You're still feeling this pull. There's the lightning strike again in that card. So it's the feminine energy. Once Gemini goes into Uranus, it's going to be there, 7 years, I think, until 2033. You're going to take off like a lightning bolt. Oh, wow. I don't know what it's going to do for your twin, though. It could mean some progress for them as well. What is it? So when Gemini moves into Uranus, so we're looking April. That's full. That's the full time because that's Aries energy. Aries starts, Aries is the full card. It's the first card in tarot. So that's kind of like the beginning of the journey. What is it going to do for the collective's twin? I know it's going to take you off. You're going to keep moving on your journey, but what is it going to do to your twin? Ay, ay, ay. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. No. Moon in reverse. It's like they're going to feel very much in despair because they're going to see the truth that you're moving forward. You're going to move forward. And so they're not really going to understand it. It's almost like they're going to feel the lack of enthusiasm and ambition to move forward on this. Their intuition's going to be blocked, and I think it's kind of like the very first Chihuahua I got, my very first dog. I was like 31. I had it in my mind. I was like, I want a white Chihuahua. I don't know why. So I started looking through all the paper, right? And then I found one. I called the lady and she said, "Oh yeah, he's available." It was a male. I wanted a male white little Chihuahua. I've had 3 of them. I'm on my 3rd one right now. And this one's like a big lesson. But more of the story was, she said he has a sister, and the sister was picked up the previous night. But he's available. But when I got there, she said, I think he's deaf. And I'm like, oh. She goes, but no worries. Get him checked out. Okay? She goes, if you find that he is truly deaf, and she said, she figured it out because when the previous folks came to pick up his sister and they were torn away from each other, she noticed the Chihuahua I picked up, his bless his soul, he's passed, Riley, it was my heart. But she said you could tell the anxiety picked up, and she couldn't get his attention, and it was because she discovered he was depending on his sister's hearing. And once that sister was pulled away, he didn't have the ears to depend on with his sister. So he was lost. He was a puppy. He was lost. He was, he didn't know it was something he needed to develop. So she told me, she said, if you find out that he's deaf, I will take him back, or I will pay you back for everything, you know, except for like the shots, right? The shots, you know, when they're babies, they have to have their shots. So sure enough, I got him checked out and they're like, oh yeah, he's deaf. But he, by being pulled away, ended up learning on his own. His other senses enhanced. His smell, the feeling of the vibration. So, you know, those were back in the days when I still had to drive into work. And so when I came home, he was always dead asleep. And the only way he knew I was home, he could smell me. He felt the vibration of me walking on the floor. So he had to learn senses in other ways. And it was by not depending on his sister. And I feel this is a big resemblance of this situation with your twin. They have been depending on your energy to feel good, to feel alive, to feel the energy of being chased. And now that you're pulling it away, they're going to be forced, like my Riley, my deaf Chihuahua, to learn to heal that on their own. Tower in reverse. It's something they've been avoiding. They won't be able to avoid it any longer, much like the story with my dog. Because his sister was already taken off to a new family. And then here I came along and I was picking up my Riley that was deaf. So he had to learn to depend on his other senses to get over what he, you know, what his handicap was, so to speak. And it was a fear of his he had to work on, and he overcame it. Actually, he listens better than the one I have now that can hear. And it's true. God bless his soul. But he came into my life to teach me I'm ready to not have an animal for a while and to get out and be, you know, like the drifter, go travel, enjoy. My North Node is Sagittarius. I'm supposed to be like you, stepping into my freedom, going and exploring. And bless his heart, I got him in Taurus season, so I don't know his real birthday. So I swear he's got a lot of Taurus tendencies, which is very stuck, slow, stable, grounded, stubborn, you know, all the stuff where I'm like, I have a lot of Gemini in my energy. Like, I'm ready to take off, right? Much like you, the Bull in April, setting yourself free. So this is a choice you have to make, because it's going to force them to not depend on your energy, but you have to not be afraid, and you have to be willing to let go. So it forces them to work on their fears. Wow. Okay. Do we have, let's get an angel number. Even you received a bunch of angel numbers from the other day that I got. Let's see if there's another one for the collective. Confidence. 909. Things are moving and you need to make a decision. Oh my God, the choice. The choice. Oh, you got to make a decision. Act with confidence and take risks. Act with confidence and take risks. Please know that when you do continue to step into your power, okay, of this journey, growing, facing your fears, climbing that mountain, eventually it's going to force them, because they don't have your energy to hold on to. They don't have your energy chasing them down, giving them what they need, because they're depleting you. And now you're going to step into your confidence. You're going to make that choice to continue that journey, climbing that mountain, whether they do or not, because it's going to force them to. right? That tower is going to come crumbling down on them because they don't have anything to hold on to. Just like my sweet Riley, my first Chihuahua. But he grew by leaps and bounds. His sense and the feeling of vibration, he listened better than any other dog I had. And that's what's going to happen with your twin when you decide to just keep moving. They're going to learn to stand on their own 2 feet and face their fears, because they're not willing right now to face it with you. They just want you to chase them. They just want you to give them the energy they need, right? Give them the audience. And you're like, no. And that's why they're chafing, because they're like, wait a minute, now you've taken your energy away. People see you, people want to talk to you, people are looking up to you because you're going through your growing pains and you're learning to work through your fears, and they hate it because they don't want to grow. They just want the easy button. They just want you to just give them energy, just fill their cup. You're not going to do it. You're like, stand on your own 2 feet. Make that choice. Of course, this energy could change at any time, right? Between now and April, and setting yourself free when Gemini goes into Uranus, because that's going to be a jolt. That's going to be a shock, right? A shock to the system, just like the lightning bolt there, the shock to the system, where it's like you're catapulted into a direction because it's meant to happen. And it will force them eventually, because if it's your true twin flame, they're going to be chafing. Let them chafe. Let them chafe. They got lessons to learn. You cannot feel sorry for them. Okay? At some point, they got to grow up and face their fears like you're doing. All right? I love you. I hope this was helpful. It was interesting energy. I didn't expect it to be about the twin flame journey, but it is. But the difference is you stepping into your power. You can teach others about this journey because you're facing your fears. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're, getting into spiritual work. Maybe you're starting a channel and, you're able to teach people a little bit about the journey, what's happened, where you came from, where you are now, and where you plan, where you're going. And you're helping others who are in this dynamic that are struggling and maybe not even understand it. And that's chafing them too, because they're like, dang, not only are they growing and they're out in public, people are seeing them, they're, getting the energy I want from other people when I should be getting it from them. It's wild, because it's like you're growing and it's upsetting them. You're getting the good lashings. They're getting the whippings because they didn't want to do the work, and now they're going to be dragged. And they could drag for the rest of the lifetime. It doesn't mean they're actually going to step in and face their fears, but they're going to be pulled, feeling it. And you're going to constantly feel their energy. And I think that's part of the message is when you do feel that weird energy, because usually you're happy-go-lucky, you got to take a deep breath and you got to step back and say, that is not my energy. That is my twin's energy. I do not want to feel that energy. I do not accept that energy, that vibration. No. Light, some say, or actually Palo Santo. Palo Santo is good vibe energy. Do some Palo Santo to change your mood, right? Take a salt bath. Do something, meditate, go outside, get some fresh air. Be barefoot. Well, I don't know if you're going to want to do it now with the snow, but there's other ways of getting grounded. But, in spring and summertime, usually people stand barefoot on, the grass, wherever you are, sand, grass, wherever you have earth, whatever ground you have, wherever you live, right? It'll be different for everybody. There's different ways of grounding, but that's one of them. But yes, tell yourself you do not accept that energy because they're upset. That is their problem, not yours. They have to put on their big girl or big boy pants and learn to face their fears like you are. Okay? So I hope this helps somebody. I hope it resonated. Like I said, drop a comment if you feel comfortable. Please make sure you hit the like button. This, we've got to break out of the algorithm here. AI is starting to take over and it's losing its soul, right? You might not be getting the information straight from source, just like you keep seeing my orbs. They're irritated. I can tell you right now, they're irritated because AI is taking away from what they want you to know, channeling through me. AI is somebody else putting the input in, and they're telling you what they want you to hear. So we've got to break those algorithms, and you've got to hit the like button. You've got to engage. You've got to talk. You've got to subscribe. You've got to share, and keep the real input coming towards you, the real human interaction, because like my spirits keep showing up on these. I know I got to do another video about that, but that'll be maybe a live or something where I talk more about that with the AI crap going on. Anyway, have yourself a wonderful day. I love you, and I will talk to you soon.